Hey everyone, Sky here to discuss Jaws, The Revenge. Starring Lorraine Gary, Michael Caine, Mario Van Peebles, Lance Guest, Karen Young, Judith Bursey, Lynn Whitfield, Mitchell Anderson, Melvin and Mario Van Peebles, and directed by Joseph Sargent. Now, let's just get right into how bad this movie really is. Let's get into it. The score in this movie is absolutely miserable. Even the Jaws theme in this movie can't even save it and is used in the worst way possible. I really like Lorraine Gary back as Ellen Brody, but as a widower, which probably for the best, and because Roy Scheider was busy doing something, who knows. And Sean's back, but a different actor playing him this time, and he's a deputy, and all of that was a terrible choice for this movie because then he dies. I felt another poor choice is setting this opening sequence at the beach on Christmas time. It didn't make sense to me. Killing Sean off didn't make sense to me at all because he was in the previous 3 movies, which does get to Michael Brody, but not played by Dennis Quaid, but by this actor. Let's see what his name is. Lance Guest. He knew this script sucked so badly, Dennis Quaid did, he didn't even want to be involved in this pile of shit. Michael was married to Carla Brody with a kid named Thea, played by Judith Bursey, and they take Ellen out of Amityville for the week, and we get introduced to Hoagie, played by Michael Caine. Welcome back. Who Ellen will end up having a relationship in this movie. And in general, I like Michael Caine usually, but here, this is a terrible role for him. Michael works with an African American who I think sounds African in this movie. I could be wrong, correct me if I am. Named Jake, played by Mario Van Peebles. And he may be the best thing about this movie, in my opinion, and that's not ruinous. I don't really care for any of these characters except for Jake. He's hilarious in a corny way. The shark swims to Jake, and suddenly he goes after Michael, and the shark looked absolutely terrible. Terrible. Animatronics, terrible effects, just plain terrible looking scene and shark. My God. So Michael puts Jake out in the water hanging to a rope, and they drop meat in the water and pokes a weapon on the shark. Now, my problem with that scene is Michael and his crew are putting Jake in the water, holding a weapon on a piece of rope as bait. That is so damn dangerous that even Jake would be chicken in real life. Poor safety choice, but this movie isn't about safety. The scene when Thea mimics Michael on what he does on the movements was rather amusing and cute. It was a good way to show us some cuteness in a movie this bad. The shark attack begins to bite someone's leg and kills her. And by her, I mean it was a lady, excuse me. And Michael and Jake knew about it, and Ellen goes to the shark while Thea is in shock with Michael's wife, Carla. So Michael and Jake, with Hoagie and Ellen, almost gets herself killed out until Hoagie with Michael and Jake go to her. And the shark gets Hoagie almost killed, but survives. And that sequence, which remind me, how did Hoagie survive the shark eating his plane? That was a main problem for the cliche. And Jake puts a camera in the shark mouth, and the shark kills Jake. Was a terrible sacrifice until he's alive by the end. Jake flashes at the shark, and I don't even know what in the hell killed the shark. It was either the flashes or poking a hole in the shark with the boat. That's very stupid and questionable, and Jake's alive, and everyone goes home, and I turn this thing off and scream how bad this movie is. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 2.1 out of 10. This is the worst of the Jaws series by far, and I don't know why they made this movie in the first place was ever made. There's no characters to connect with except for Jake, and to start on a classic to here is just baffling to me. It's like Psycho all over again. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and I will be back next week with Deep Blue Sea. And until next time, Dun, dun, dun.